Morning. Turn my mic on, that'll help, won't it? Okay, I'll open this meeting to DeKalb County Commissioners, March 31st, 2025. Off we go.
Off we go is right, yeah. Well, why don't we start off with some recruitment and some hiring. So I'll let Morgan take over.
Probation has hired a new probation officer. They'll be starting later in April after the holiday. Title 4D has also picked somebody to be their new intake deputy. The clerk has posted for a part-time records management deputy. And then Community Corrections is looking for a full-time third residential facility officer. And then Sunny Meadows has quite a few openings. They have full-time second, third, and part-time third, which is the weekend shift that we're looking for right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, kind of short and sweet. To give you a little bit of an update on what happened with the wellness event on Friday, it was, first of all, we had 50 people sign up, which was awesome. It's the most that we have ever had. We only had 2 no-shows, and we had 1 walk-in, which was great. So anyone who has the Parkview My Chart could go in by the end of Friday to look at their results, and their doctor is able to look at their results. So we had loads of compliments about the individuals who were drawing the blood and the process. So we were extremely happy with how it went. They were happy with how it went. So now hopefully we will have maybe a few more individuals who will return their physician's form so that they can participate in the wellness plan for that $50 off their premium each pay period. So that was good. That was excellent. Apex got back to me, and our group is out to market. So we'll just have to wait and see. Good news is that we have a year's worth of data under our belt. Last year, we only had just, 6 months worth, 8 months worth of information. Now there's a whole year plus, the previous information. And so that should help us, help them be able to market it. Susan has a letter so that Apex can take a look at the our one vendor for voluntary insurances, and perhaps even include them in with the ongoing the voluntary insurances that we currently offer, and then perhaps they would be the vendor that we would use for our short-term, long-term, the things that the county provides. So you've got that. Let's see.
On that, Dottie, if I could, a little bit on that. My goal is to get things put back. Okay, so when Dottie and I were here 10, 11 years ago, we had an awful renewal process with a steel benefits company. And since then, 10, 11 years ago, steel benefits have totally revamped how they do everything in their system that they have. So we're not getting it going for this renewal. HR is still going to do their system, however they do it, that's them, and take care of our employees. But afterwards, Steel Benefits is going to be able to build us a benefit platform that will be able to have all of our health insurance, our voluntary insurances, and it's all on this one platform. And then Steel will come for our renewals and be able to do our renewals, answer the questions. Our employees can reach out to them for questions. And because we have the trust mark, by letting them have the agent of record, then our employees can contact them and they would be able to contact Trustmark and discuss their policies or whatever together. If they aren't, if Trustmark doesn't know them as being related to us, then they can't help our employees. So that's really what this for. It isn't like the liability insurance side of things when you name an agent of record. It's so confusing. This is strictly so they can help our employees. And then their system, for going forward, their system is able to talk to our current financial system and payroll system. So instead of Teresa having to hand enter every single change of health insurance, it's in their system and automatically, well, not automatically, with the touch of a button, it will go into our payroll system and deductions will come out how they're supposed to come out without so many possibilities of entry errors and things like that.
And employees will have more of an opportunity to go into that system and enroll themselves and hopefully be a little more autonomous, you know, do some things on their own. They can go in and actually look at what they have. Right now, if an employee were to ask us, well, what kind of policy do I have with, you know, Aflac or Trustmark or, you know, the standard? Honestly, we have tried to stay out of that, and so that the employee would talk directly to the insurance company. This way they can do a little bit more, you know, directly on their own. So anyway, but yeah, Apex needs to be known as the agent of record for those purposes. So.
Any questions on that or comments? Oh, good with that? Okay.
We're not ready to sign any, I mean, all that will come down the road. We're getting through this enrollment first, and there's multiple different things with the voluntary policies, different things that involve tech credits and yada, yada, yada. So the price of it ends up being not bad at all. And so, yeah, we're not even to that part yet, but that's why we're needing
But do we need to
this.
sign?
But we still need to sign that, yes.
Yes, yeah. That has more to deal right now with Apex being able to market, you know, our plan, our group out to those voluntary insurance companies. Much like they've, you know, our broker has done in the past to take a look at, all right, how many employees do we have? The county offers each employee a $10,000 life insurance policy. They offer everyone in the sheriff's office $20,000 life insurance policy, offering the sheriff's office long-term disability paid for by the county, offering all county employees, full-time employees, the short-term disability. And so, you know, it's a package. And then the options that we offer for the company to come in and sell would be those accident insurances or the extra voluntary life insurance policies, things like that, that the county historically has allowed that, that one company to be able to offer. So this kind of goes along with all of this this plan during our, you know, getting quotes for things.
Okay. But no need for signature today? Is that what I'm hearing?
We need a signature for that.
Yes.
We're not doing signatures for the steel benefit part of
Okay.
it.
Okay, just this.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
So move, we allow the president to sign this letter of intent as presented.
I'll second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Yay. Next thing is is the county newsletter. If you are going to be doing any years of service presentations, just a reminder, please have somebody take a picture of you doing the presentation, or you take the picture of the person receiving the certificate. We love to get those things in there, and so this is just a reminder. And then last but not least, the department heads meeting is on Wednesday, the 2nd at 8 a.m. in the large conference room of the 9th Street Annex. And hopefully, somebody will be able to give an update on the that travel policy, meals, expenses situation that I brought up after the March meeting. So that's really all that we have right now. So,
Okay. Questions for Dottie?
I haven't passed out any of the recognitions ones yet because we're waiting on the plaques. Are we, the will of the commissioners, okay with the 10, 20, 30-year on the plaques
Yes.
and not the 5 or anything? Okay. So Dottie, I have a few of those I haven't handed out yet because I wanted to see what that is. I will get to those this week.
okay.
Okay. I know we have one 10-year, I believe, at dispatch. So-
Probably, yeah.
So I'll get the other ones and then I'll reach out to the department heads and get those out to them.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was trying to see, waiting to see what we were going to do with the plaques.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. That's what we have. Yeah.
All you have?
Yeah.
Good to go.
Nice and quick. All right. Thanks.
You'll
Yeah.
be walking with the wind going back.
That's right. Yeah. It'll
Stay safe. Okay, we got a little time here. Let's jump down. I see Besa has joined us to the master service agreement between the city of Auburn and DeKalb County. And that involves IT. Besa, you want to come up and give us some lowdown on that?
Right. All right, so the county and city of Auburn have an agreement that we have in place to work on our IT. So they take care of all of our networking, part of the infrastructure. Now, to my understanding, we had not had an agreement signed in a while. So a new one was drawn up and sent to me, and I passed that on to the attorney and also our cybersecurity insurance company, and they were all able to review that, and they are okay with it. So we just need some signatures now.
Andrew, you looked at it?
Yeah, I looked at it, and I had wanted a reach out to the insurance company about it, so apparently that's what you had done, reached out maybe to Kyle Pearson, or,
Yes.
and then
Reached out
they
to Kyle,
checked it,
and he
yeah.
reviewed that.
It seemed fine to me. It seems like each side of the agreement's liable for security breaches that they cause. So, I mean, that makes sense. If we cause a security breach, we're liable for it. If they do, they're liable for it, and hopefully there are none that are caused by either side. But I'm fine with the agreement.
How long is the agreement for?
There isn't
Time frame?
a time frame in there.
That was 1 year.
There is?
When I read it, I didn't see it in there.
Yeah,
Maybe
I didn't
missed it.
see that either.
I'm reading
Andrew, do you
between the
remember?
lines evidently.
Not off the top of my head. I can see if I can find the agreement here on,
Do you know, Besa, is there any additional services that were provided compared to what they've been providing, or is there any changes from the number that we've had?
The biggest change is going to be our phone system, because currently they are managing our Cisco call manager, and they have decided to go, the Cisco is up for renewal, and city have decided to go a different route, and we decided to go with a Cisco cloud system. So that's going to be the biggest difference, that they will no longer be managing our phone system.
so in the contract in paragraph 4.1, it says this agreement shall commence on the effective date and shall continue for a period of, and then it says initial term, e.g. or example, 1 year unless terminated earlier in accordance with this section. So if it doesn't, yeah, I mean, you should probably put the words 1 year in there. That's probably what was intended there.
I took it.
But it doesn't technically say 1 year.
I didn't know.
Yeah. But then there's also termination for convenience. That should probably be put in there with maybe 30 days in 4.2 and maybe a year for 4.1, something like that.
What section was that?
So 4.1 should probably be put in that it shall continue for a period of 1 year. It's got 1 year in there, but the way it's worded, it's like a blank. And I'm sure people, as they're reading it, kind of just think of it just as putting in 1 year. And then 4.2 probably should be 30 days, termination of convenience, 30 or 60 days.
Okay. I can get that updated and I'll send to you guys in an email.
Okay.
We can approve
We
it.
can still
We
do
can
the
approve it now with
signature,
the
because the signature's not on that page.
Yeah, that's
You can
fine.
approve it subject to those terms being put in, I think, yes.
Also make that motion. I'll make the motion to accept it with the changes.
Second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And while you're here, do you want to go over can we cover the complaint form? Did you guys get a chance to look at all that? Have any questions for him while he's here?
Which was it?
The complaint form, you guys got a chance to look at the link and everything?
Yeah.
That
The
was
only-
fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Dottie has it on the agenda for the department head meeting.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, we'll just wait 2 weeks and after we have our department head meeting, in case there's any department head that has any questions or comments or whatever, if that's okay.
No, that's fine. I just figured when he was here, he could answer any questions, so appreciate it. Thank you.
I can come back.
Take it easy.
Well, you were here, so.
Okay. Let's jump down to payroll. Jump back up to payroll. Motion to approve.
We'll move as accepted.
Second.
A motion is second to approve payroll. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Payroll is approved. Claims.
I know, Susan, you've been gone, so I didn't want to bother you, but,
It's all good.
pardon me?
You see all that stuff in there? That was my vacation.
Oh. Claims under sheriff, which is 009756, Stand Energy for 2027. Can you explain that one, please? Just for my knowledge.
Stand, I don't know if I can explain it intelligently, but Stand is the gas contract company, the gas company that we contracted with, like, for so many islands. I don't know how to explain it. So many, a certain volume at a certain price.
Okay.
And then it gets broke down. So like, there should have been multiple departments that had the Stand. That just happened to be the sheriff's portion, like jail, sheriff, all that over there.
Okay.
We're buying gas on the futures, basically. And NIPSCO delivers it, but we're buying it through Stand. So we're locking in gas prices on ahead
Okay.
in different situations, different amounts. It's something that Todd initiated and has worked out fairly well. We had that big surge, 2 years ago when Texas had the ice storm, and we had a weekend bill of $40-some thousand. So this kind of guards against that. We won't get in that situation again.
So that's contracted ahead
It's contracted,
Yeah.
of time. The other
kind of
one,
like the crops,
pardon me?
kind of like corn and soybeans.
Understand. Under the Plan Commission, HWC Engineering for 6,805.
That's comprehensive plan.
That's
That's the
contracted
company's-
services with,
Yeah, comprehensive plan, right.
That's the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
thank you.
Anything else?
So move to accept as presented.
Second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. Plans are approved. Okay, we have no minutes.
No, we will have those, we'll have 2 sets next meeting. I was not able to connect to my computer all week.
Where were you that you couldn't?
We're not even gonna talk about it.
Okay. No man's land, in other words.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioner appointment changes. What do you got there, Susan?
And I don't know. Okay. So we had just a couple for Mike's replacement. And then Judge Grimm had sent me a message that for the Community Corrections Board appointments, Tim Swagger, I'm not sure which, is replacing Carla something Estrada at the Bowen Health Center for the mental health designee. And so he's also going to be the replacement for the Community Corrections Board. So we need to appoint Tim to replace her to finish out that term for Community Corrections. And then we have Mike's Maumee River Basin, the Pokabachi Trail, and then I believe you guys are replacing Justin on redevelopment commission? No?
I have not been able to talk to him yet. He hasn't been to any of the meetings yet, so I need to have a conversation with him about why he hasn't. I've heard through the grapevine his work schedule's changed. He's unable to do it, but I have not connected with him just yet, so we'll,
Okay, so we'll hold off on that one.
that one, yeah.
So Pokabashi Trail, Maumee River, and then the update for the Community Corrections Board.
Rick Ring has approached me about doing the trail, and I'm certainly in favor of that. And I've been approached about doing the Maumee River Basin. Be happy to do that as well. The third one, we're going to put a hold on that, or are we doing?
For redevelopment, yeah.
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 We're gonna hold on that one, and then the other one, they kind of, I mean, we kind of go with what they suggest for their mental health person on community corrections.
Do each one separately?
Okay, so let's do Pokabashi. So
How about you?
I would so move
Jim's motioning,
that
okay.
we appoint Rick Ring to the Bocce Trail.
I'll second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Say aye.
Aye. Sorry. I had a question real quick. Aye.
Opposed? Motion
You guys make
carries.
me proud.
Okay. Rick Ring on the trails.
I'll make a motion for Jim Miller to be on the Maui River Basin.
I'll second. Any additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. And then the CC board. And that name was,
Okay,
again,
Tim Swagger to replace Carla. Something is
he's a health
mental health administrator.
and health.
So
Motion?
is this the Carla?
So
She's the,
we're appointing Tim Swagger to replace Carla for the mental health administrator.
So moved.
Thank you.
I have motion second on the floor. Additional
I know?
comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. That takes care of that for now. Okay, let's jump over and catch Mr. Tom Keller. What you got today, Tom? What you need?
Good morning. I'm here to give you a few updates on the county farm and this test plot that was put in out there. There's been some issues with it. I've got some pictures here. I'll give you here.
This is a soil and water test plot.
Thank you.
What you're looking at is the field that I got rented off of you. It's on the north side of the test plot there, right beside Sonny Mendel's home. What you're seeing is water hemp weeds in my beans. And that come out of the test plot. They left the water hemp grow out of control. In June, I took and talked to them about it and complained about it. And they went out, I think they went out, mowed it off first time. And they didn't control it, and it come back and regrew, went to seed. I complained second time, probably in late July, August. And I found out that they went out and sprayed 2,4-D on it. And my beans to the north is not 2,4-D tolerant. And we got drift, and I had damage to my beans. And I complained to him a couple of times, and I don't know. This is what I had. I guess there's some things going on. I guess I need to know who's spraying out there. I think it's the Breckville family. I don't know whether they're qualified to spray that. They have to have a commercial license to do that kind of stuff, which they probably don't. I guess I need to know who is actually in control of this plot. I don't know who contacted you people to do this. I think I need all this information.
It was Nellie, roughly.
Did you talk to Nellie when who did you say you complained to? Who was the person you talked to?
I think it was Nellie, but I'm not real sure.
Okay.
So, anyhow, is she the only one that contacted you guys about this?
As I remember, it was Nellie, wasn't it, Susan? Yeah,
I mean, she's in charge of
Well,
soil
she's
and
the
water, so.
director there,
Yeah.
so.
right. Yeah, I mean, you had damage before they sprayed the 2,4-D, just the
Yeah.
weeds alone were
Yeah,
cutting your,
you know, I had plenty beans out there, and they do not tolerate 2,4-D drift.
beans don't like 2,4-D.
Well, most beans don't.
Most of them don't.
Very few do.
Totally enemies.
So, another thing I found out, I was notified that they have lost their funding too. All their funding has been pulled. I don't know whether they've notified you yet or not.
Soil and water?
Yes. So I don't know whether they're going to get funding to do this year or not. I was down to Allen County Soil and Water Conservation. I guess they're over the 7-county district here. And right now it's up in the air if they're going to get any funding. So possibility they're not going to be able to do this year.
Was that for more than 1 year, that test
Yes.
plot?
It was 3 years.
So
Nellie said that she has invited Tom to come to multiple board meetings, and he's yet to come. The next meeting is April 16th, and she would like you to attend.
Well, she has my phone number, and I told her to text me, and she has never done. So,
I'm just the messenger, and
Yeah,
she's not here to be able to defend herself, so
I know
I'm just
Tom,
passing along the next meeting, April 16th.
I know Tom Fortman, he went to one, and he said, he told me about it. I said, well, they never called me. There we are.
Just letting you know. That's all I know.
Comment?
Well, I suppose ultimately, obviously there's damage, and somebody should be responsible for the damage. And in my mind, Soil and Water supposed to be the responsible party here. They should make the damages right. Mr. Keller, that would be the right thing to happen in my mind. If I sprayed across the road, 2,4-D, and had damage, and I've been on the other side, I've been on his side with a loss where the wrong application happened with the wrong wind, whatever, then that property owner should be responsible. And in this case, Soil and Water should be the responsible party, in my mind. That's
I suppose we could turn this into liability insurance too. I don't know.
How many acres were affected?
Well, I'm gonna have to guess at all that, because, it drifted out there. I watched the yield monitor as I was combining, and from the north part of the field coming south, they was 60 bushel plus, and as I come south, in that section there, you come down the hill, and there's a low area, and once you come back up out of the low area and get closer to the Sunny Meadows home, then they start dropping down, and by the time I got down to the road there, they was down to like 45 bushel, so they dropped 15 bushel, but to get an exact amount,
It's hard.
we're gonna be guessing. I'm not after damages this now, but I'm gonna just go on damage, forget it. But something has to be done. I mean, there has to be, first of all, I don't think the Breckville family should be spraying, because technically, and by law, that would be a commercial job, and they need to have a commercial license. So if this plot goes on this year, they need to hire a commercial business like Ag Plus or Anderson's or whoever come in and do it. And then there's got to be some information here on what they're spraying too. So
Okay.
I mean, I totally agree with his statement. That should be, Soil and Water has a responsibility to have a commercial operator,
yeah,
somebody with a commercial license.
I mean that's law. I mean that's law. If that was a farmer doing it himself, he can have a private applicator's license and do his own spraying. But this isn't private applicator type deal.
Yeah, the only way I could see you maybe getting away with that is volunteering or not charging, but I don't know the law either as far as,
No, even with volunteering,
you're not.
I agree again with Mr. Keller that
There'd be no.
it puts the liability, if Breckvilles are the ones spraying it, puts liability back on them.
Okay.
And that, I wouldn't want that myself.
But
Okay.
if it comes down to it that they don't have the funding to continue this, I want that back, so there's no problems.
Yeah.
So
Let's have Nellie in 2 weeks. That work?
And yeah, that's fine with me. Just keep
We'll get
in
Nellie in here
contact with me.
and we'll get this sorted out and see who's responsible. And
Yeah.
going forward, I think it probably be terminated 30 days' notice. The contract, I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah, I could review the contract to see what the termination clause is.
But then they need to do this right, or they don't need to do it.
Correct.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I hate to say that about a fellow government entity, but this isn't right. I agree with Jim, totally.
If something happens and they don't get funding, and let me know, and I'll reassume that
Right.
12 acres.
Okay.
All right?
I have it down on the April 14th for 9:30.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you want me here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I would have known what this was about, so I could have had her here today, but
yeah, we'd have
all I
had
had was your name, that you were coming, but I had no information on it.
You say April 14th?
9:30.
it. Yep.
2 Mondays from now.
Okay, any more questions?
I don't think so. I think we're
All right,
pretty clear.
talk to you later then.
All righty.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Are you saying 9:30 is open? Looks that way.
Yep, it's open.
Okay, we got the
Good, my soil and water.
appointment changes.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Let's move on then to miscellaneous, the capital asset policy updated by government fixed assets. Susan, you're on.
Yep. We do this every, I think it's 3 or 4 years, maybe. So we have 2 different capital asset companies. This is the company that goes through and make sure that our capital asset policy for our county is up to date, it's following all the federal guidelines, if any changes need to be made. And so that is what this is. So they've updated our policy. I believe one of the changes was one of the federal limits was 10,000 that they updated. So we just need to approve it as our new capital asset policy that we follow. And then I have a different company that we've already done that actually works with my office, and we go back and forth to make sure that we are covering and have captured all of the needed capital assets and when to turn things like the highway from in construction actually into a full, complete asset, things like that. So this is just approving the new up-to-date policy for the county.
Also make that motion.
Second?
A motion and second on the floor. Any additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on. GM Development Draw Number 14 approval. That's for the highway,
So this
right?
is for the highway. Yep, we haven't seen one for a while. So this is for $263,685. They still have a little over $103,000 left on the contract that they can bill. I'm not real sure how that works, whether they
Are they
do
doing
or not.
retainage now? Is that the deal? And
There might be retainage.
is it like the final checklist of,
Well, I know that they were, as far as I know, they had been waiting for, was it the generator? They were waiting for something yet to be all the way
The
put
generator.
in.
That was last.
Did you ever get the gas tank
Yeah.
situated all
I think I
figured out?
heard they
Okay.
did get the gas.
I know that was something that was kind of at the end
That
there.
was on,
Fuel tank, sorry.
yeah, that was on FCI, so
Is
that's,
the punch
Yes.
list done on the building? Like the
This-
punch list fully done?
This is retainage and some furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
That total is 263, 685.
Yep. So I just have you guys do a separate approval for this claim outside of the accounts payable claims, just so we have each draw separate approval.
Okay. Motion?
So move to accept as presented.
Second.
A motion is second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
It will show up on the monthly bookkeeper claim sheet. It's where the actual signature comes, like when we do the month-end stuff.
Okay, moving forward. Got a title to sign, it looks like.
Yes, this is for a 2015 Elkhart Coach. It's one of the DART vans. They are, another agency is looking to purchase it, so they need us to sign off on this title so they can get rid of it, and then I don't know if they'll get a new one or if they already have their new one, because they had been waiting for quite a while. Like, they had 2 or 3 come in right at once that they had been waiting on.
So this isn't a trade-in, it's a sale.
Correct.
Okay.
So move to accept the sale of the vehicle as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion is second on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Only Bill signs that, right?
Just Bill, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, County Home February Combined Report.
I had scanned that in, but after you approve, then you'll need to sign on the front of it.
Any comments, questions on the report? This is just to,
Just approving it as presented. It's just presenting all the money that's come in and what we paid basically to the treasurer for rent, care of residents, and then like how many people are there and
I'll make the motion. To accept as approved, as accepted.
Second.
a motion and a second on the floor. Any additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Andrew, I have a question.
Yes.
I was thinking about, with the master service agreement with the city of Auburn, if Auburn hires a consultant, would that be on them or be on the consultant for liability if it causes any issues or breaches?
I would think initially whoever hired the consultant would be there, but whoever hired the consultant would be in charge of them and responsible for their actions to some extent. So you're talking about like someone to to come in from outside to work on their systems?
Yeah, and they cause a breach, would it be on Auburn or would it be on them? Should we have like a COI for anybody that comes in?
Hey, what?
Certification of insurance for any, just a thought. I mean, I know Auburn said they'll cover it and we cover our end. I didn't know if we should.
I mean, you could, depending on who each side calls in for outside help, I mean, it's always good to make sure that they have insurance or they're certified to do it. Certified mechanics to work on your vehicles, certified.
Should we mandate that to make sure that they have it, just like we would have to do it on our end?
I don't know enough about the certifications. I mean, it could be that you could require them to have $1 million liability coverage. That's another way to do it, and list the city or the county or both as additionally named insured.
I'm just
That's another
concerned that
option.
someone, they hire a consultant, then get some ransomware in here, then it paralyzes both sets, and all of a sudden our insurance is like, well, they hired it, and then we're back and forth
Right.
here. So I want to clarify and make sure that if they hire any consultants, that entity would be in charge of.
I
any
believe
breaches that
whichever
person had.
entity would hire the consultant would be responsible for what happens. And in fact, let me take a look at the agreement language.
Just maybe put a line in there just that says that, just to be clarified, just in case we don't have a, well, we hired them, it's on them now, and they have to go back and forth.
Yeah, it looks like the city is actually providing consultation services to the county under this as part of it.
But if they hire a third party to come do theirs and they cause the issue, and they're like, well, it's a third party's problem, and then we're back and forth, and we're locked down or whatever. I just want to make sure it's clear in the agreement. I mean,
It says neither party shall be held liable for cybersecurity incidents caused by third-party vendors.
but then who is going to be in,
So, in other words, if the city hires a third-party consultant,
they're saying they're not liable for it, but what happens if they don't have insurance or something, like they didn't do their homework?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Right.
kind of what my question is.
so
Sorry, I
if
meant
the
to
third
ask it
parties,
earlier.
I could,
I mean, get a certificate of insurance would be
Right.
the simplest way to prove that they have coverage.
actions caused by the city IT personnel, own personnel, neither party shall be held liable for cyber caused by third-party vendors. Okay, well, so,
And they're probably going to, but it's better to have it in the writing on there.
yeah, I agree with that based on the wording on there. That would be a good idea to add that in, a requirement, basically, that any outside vendors,
Certificate of insurance.
yeah, for $1 million coverage or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be up to whatever, our insurance trustees would, cybersecurity said they would need to have.
Yes. So basically, what I can do there is, I can contact BESA and just let him know that we want that added in, and that we need to have contact from the insurance company as to what would be acceptable for that.
Yeah, and it's usually, it doesn't take long to put as additional, so I do it all the time with my business.
It'd be easy to add that into the contract, so, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I think you need a formal motion since you've already approved the contract and you're adding another addendum to it.
I will make a motion to add the language of making sure any third-party vendor has, to attach DeKalb County and Auburn to their insurance and provide a COI.
Okay, motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? Yes, sir. Get up there.
Andrew Prevens, you're going to do that for cybersecurity, you might just want to do it for work in general. I mean, if a third-party contractor loses a ton of your data, takes your systems down for long periods of time, that can cause damage as well. I don't know what systems you use, but if you couldn't run payroll, if you couldn't do something in a timely fashion because a third party took you down, it's not just cybersecurity. I would think it would also be for general business.
The county and city as
Thanks, Andrew.
they have to insure.
We'll let Andrew kind of work that language out. Let Andrew look that language out and see.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
Did you hear what?
Makes sense to me. I did, what he was saying is not just cybersecurity, but for all issues under this contract, we can say.
There we go.
Yeah.
All third-party vendors under this contract.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
I'll pursue that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Good catch.
That was just kind of, when I do
Okay,
work, I have to do that stuff all the time, so.
that's down the pretty list. Anyone have anything else to add or comments? What you got, Kellen?
I have a long list of things, so if you guys want to go first. Yeah, you just have
Susan?
just one.
What you got, Susan?
Right, but I have just one that I have a question. Is there anything that we need to discuss on the central community? On who owns it, who doesn't
Who maintains
City
it?
of,
plow it, who doesn't get to
I haven't a clue.
well, City of Auburn controls the drive, I believe.
I believe the city of Auburn owns the driveway,
To the
But-
tower that they own. They own that tower, I believe, also.
yeah.
The
But,
tower.
I mean, it sounds like, I think Brian had, okay, yeah, I see where he had, no, it was Zach Leitner for the city of Auburn. Emailed me on March 19th about this, and then I emailed you guys about it as well. Whether or not you're open to, I think Zach was potentially offering to draft up it looks like he would offer to draft up a easement for use of the driveway for the county to sign. And then that would probably have language in it saying who plows the driveway and who's responsible for this, that, and the other. If, I'm sure everybody, well, I should say I'm sure, hopefully everyone is, getting along in general about this, but it sounds like there was an issue with the snow plowing last year. I don't know if you guys heard anything about it, but that's. So I would
My
recommend
understanding
having
is that
something in
Auburn would
writing.
be, my understanding is Auburn controls that road, so they'd be the ones that'd be required to snowplow it.
Okay,
From what I gathered from the information that I've gathered, I mean, I haven't really looked too deep into this.
Right.
Because they control it, so therefore that road is theirs, so if Ben would go out there and plow it and did any damage to it, then it's not our road, so we have that, so that's why.
but you have to have it safe there for the people coming in and
Because it's a
out.
24/7 service, that's an emergency service, so
safety
I
thing,
think
yeah.
the Auburn's just trying to clean up the language here to make sure it's just, we're all good and ready to go on this, so.
So we just need to contact Zach to get the easement? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, you need to just, if you want to go in that direction, which I recommend, let's just have something in writing, maybe to protect everybody.
We can
You
talk
have
to-
to authorize me to do that, I guess.
Talk to Ben when he gets here and see what his thoughts on it are.
Ben's not plowing it.
Not currently, but if we have the easement, then we take over the control of it, then we would have to plow it, so.
Is it paved or is it dirt?
It's paved.
Hey,
Okay.
And I think community corrections, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, community corrections paid like $3,500 to have it plowed. And so they're saying, why are we paying $3,500 when we don't
Control it.
control it?
It's very confusing out there, I know
So
that.
we're paying right now for the snow removal?
Well, community corrections.
At Community Corrections. This is Central Dispatch.
I meant central,
Oh, okay.
my apologies.
Okay.
my
Yeah,
apologies.
central dispatch, yeah.
I meant
That's what you
central
meant.
dispatch.
Okay.
Central dispatch.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, it's been just a kind of a gray area, I believe, out there of who's really kind of in charge. And I think Zach's
That
trying
makes
to
a
clean it
lot of
all
sense
up.
to have it in writing, I
Yeah.
think. And so what we could do is Zach would prepare it up according to what they're thinking, I guess, and then we could have some back and forth if we needed to, and obviously
Yeah.
keep
let's do that.
Ben in the mix if we need to for snow plowing and things like that.
Yeah.
We'll see what
Because it
they
might
have
be
in
easier for
mind.
us just to take over it and give them the easement since it's just to their tower while we would use it every single day.
Can't we all just play nice and take turns?
And until there's a big chunk of the road taken out and who has to pay for it.
Yeah,
That's what will
yeah.
happen.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and make a note to email Zach back and say that, yes, we'd like them to propose something that can be discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
So we've been
Susan?
getting along out there. It's just one of those, just clean up the language on it, so.
I'm just being silly.
I got
Yes.
one item, if you want me to go ahead, Kellen. You go ahead. I'll wait.
We have some people,
He's not listening.
there's some people in the public, if you want to go with them. Some of the stuff I want Ben to be here for, so we can wait.
Oh, okay. I do have one thing. The weights and measure van has damage.
The wait.
Weight and measure van. He had a door swung open or something down in the fairgrounds, and he either back or drove into an overhang and crinked the rear door, the right rear door. So he wanted to know where to take it. I said, well, go to Hartman Auto Body. We have some work done over there. No connection, by the way, between Hartman and I. And actually, he has sold the auto body. Mike has, so.
Wouldn't that be turned into our auto liability
It
insurance
would
policy
be,
normally?
yeah,
Do you know if that was ever, if anybody had done that yet?
no,
Okay.
no, it hasn't. So we need to do that.
I would assume, I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, I guess everybody turns in their own damages or decides to or
imagine.
not to, but
Is it drivable right now still?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Back one was out of it, and you can't close the door, and,
Was insurance trustees contacted?
no, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
it seems like that should be
I
done
was involved in some
as soon as possible usually in these, unless there's a reason not to.
No,
be
that
done.
should have been done immediately. And then they will tell you
Should
the
we
next
ask to do
steps
that
of
then?
what to do. Well, the department head
Department head
have
should do that.
been doing
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And I can't say, maybe he did, but I don't.
Okay.
Did some, I mean, I don't know that I have his email to email him about it. but
I'm emailing him right now.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah, maybe they already did turn it in, I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunate. Just get that van where it's exactly the way we want it and the way he wanted it. It's out of commission. So anyway, do we need to get 2 quotes on that repair? I
It
would
kind of
note-
all depends on what insurance trustees.
The insurance
It kinda-
company might
yeah.
control where that's done potentially, though I know that for regular consumers, you have a right to choose your own shop now for repairs.
I know the sheriff department uses Hartman some, and that's, I suggested it. Get a quote on it, get an estimate on it, go from there. That's all I had for now. Public, any comments from the public? Questions? Complaints? Yes, ma'am.
I am a former trustee of Smithfield Township. I resigned December 31st, that I am here with the full approval of.
Is your mic on? Is it green on the mic
Blue,
or blue? Yeah.
the
Just push the little
middle.
button.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay. My concern here is a cemetery that's in Smithfield Township, and like I said, when I guess you couldn't hear me, I'm the former trustee, and I'm here representing Mandy Thomas, who is the current trustee. The Smithfield Township has a cemetery, a small cemetery widely known as the Shifley Cemetery. And there's like 4 adult women and 7 babies buried there. It is an abandoned cemetery. I've been out there several times. I've got pictures of it. No one is taking care of it for at least 50 years that we know of. When I became a trustee and started learning that the trustee of a township has the responsibility to maintain abandoned cemeteries, I started to pursue that. And was not able to complete what I wanted, which was for the township to be the ownership of that cemetery and be able to do the maintenance, clean it up. It's a mess, it needs cleaned up. As you can imagine, 50 years of damage would do. I can see several problems here. The township should be responsible for every abandoned cemetery. There's 5 or 6 other cemeteries, and most of them are being maintained with no problem. One is on a private property, which the township trustee has no authority over at this time, until law changes. The township would like to redeem the sale of the cemetery. It's only a 1-acre cemetery. Like I said, it's got these few people buried there, and have not been able, the township has not been able to redeem it. Also, the township would like to start cleanup and has been told to wait because the township does not own it. Also, there's some concern about the ownership of the cemetery. And I have the results of a title search with me that, in my mind, not being a lawyer, but clearly shows that the heirs of Hugh McCosker own this in perpetuity. In 2012, a gentleman who says, and I believe him, that he's David Warren. He sent a letter in 2012 asking the commissioners, it went to the commissioners at that time, and the auditor of that time, expressing concern about it. And he has since learned about the sale of this property through a tax sale, and he has sent an email in February, I believe also to all the commissioners, expressing concern. So, to me, he is the rightful owner.
Did you say that was that sent a letter?
David Warren.
Do you guys have it?
I think there was a letter that came in maybe a month or 2 ago.
An email
An email, maybe?
came in February, and I'm pretty sure it went, I've got a copy of it here. I can look and see who it was actually sent to, but I'm pretty sure it was sent to all of the commissioners. And to Andrew.
It was sent to 2625.
Am I in it?
Um,
Can you forward it to me? If I'm
no,
not?
you were not in. I'll forward it to you.
Thank you.
So I have a copy, just one copy, but a copy of this title search if you want that.
Yeah, is it a title search, like from a title insurance company or something? Title insurance company? Okay, great.
You said you tried to get it while you were under the township. What was some of the hurdles that was stopping you from taking it over at the time?
I was told it's better to just wait, and it will be put through on a tax sale, and nobody will bid on it, and then the township would get it for free.
The hope would be that nobody would bid on it. You can talk.
I understand.
say,
Okay,
keep going.
I'm gonna talk, okay?
Yep,
Just so you
keep
know,
going.
this has been, okay. This has been brought to, obviously.
You gotta state your name.
Oh, okay. My name's Tom Miller, okay? This was brought to me by my mother, and I feel full compassion for the cemetery. It is my family's ancestors that are buried there, and just being full, compare here, okay? The other side of that is that she worked diligently to get this redeemed into the right hands that it should be. Yes, the gentleman from Detroit, that is the heir, I guess, if you want to call it, I've been in contact with emails, phone calls. He is very upset, very, and I get it, and obviously so am I. I have hired my legal team to look into this matter, and we, as a township or personally, can redeem that tax sale, and correct me if I'm wrong, at any time. So we should be able to go into your office, correct?
On my vacation, I
No,
talked to Mandy on the way.
I'm not going there, I'm just.
I explained to her that I wanted to talk to her to make sure we all were on the same page. Yes, anybody can redeem it. I told her I did not know, because I was not an attorney, because we don't have ownership of it at this time. I did not know if the township would be able to do anything at this time until we figure that piece of it out. That's the only reason why I told her to wait, because I don't know the ins and outs of the legality of that part. But I wanted to be sure that she knew, just because they redeemed it, it wasn't automatically going to go right to the township.
And
that is
you are correct.
exactly what I
100%.
told her and why I asked that we talk.
And we personally hired to have my wife and I personally hired to have the title search done. And
That title search it?
that title search, I don't want redeemed for it, I'm just telling you that.
No, the one that you just handed to us?
Yes, we paid for that to be done. And so, like I said, the wife and husband from Fort Wayne that bought the tax sale, we've emailed contact back and forth, and they claim that they're going to restore it, everything else. They have no legal right to the property at this point. The county has the ability to redeem that property and give it back to the township where it should be. I will make it my personal vendetta, whatever, not vendetta, but message or whatever you want to call it, to make this happen, okay? I know that the county historian is involved, and that I just feel like we need to do the right thing for these people that founded this county, homesteaded here, and they need to have representation.
And I got a copy of Mary's email from last week or over the weekend. I was out last week on just a week's vacation, but I emailed Mary back, I believe, and asked her about the idea of the abandoned cemetery, the statute she was looking at. I did a little bit of research myself, and it sounds like the county is happy to help and wants the township to be able to get the property, and just wants to make sure it's all done legally according to statute.
Absolutely.
So,
And like I said, all we wanted to do was bring it to your attention, the public's attention, that things need to be corrected. And we just can't be selling cemeteries, and it was an oversight, I get that. But by law, there should be no taxes on
There aren't any
cemeteries.
taxes,
There-
that's
there
the
were never
problem, is
taxes
there's
on it.
not
Drainage
taxes,
assessment.
it's drain assessments that are on your property tax bill. So it was not property tax, there's no tax assessments with property on it, period, ever, it wasn't that way.
yeah, they're
It took-
correct that it shouldn't be sold at tax sale, and it was called a tax sale, but it wasn't sold for
And
taxes.
and I'm guessing there shouldn't be any drainage taxes on it also.
Every parcel in the county has drainage taxes.
Okay.
I even reached out to, I think, the Drainage Board attorney about that, and
Every cemetery pays drainage.
Okay.
even untaxable common areas of, that aren't taxed for any other purpose of developments, and
Even
almost
the
everything gets
county,
drainage assessments.
we pay our own drain assessments. For all the properties that we own, we pay our.
That was the
fair
problem
share.
here, is the drain assessments,
I
not the
understand.
taxes.
I understand.
Highway even plays
Yep.
drain assessment on the right of
Yeah,
ways.
everybody pays the drain.
Like I said, I'm just hoping that we can come to a
I think most of the people here want this to happen that way. We're just trying to make sure it's done legally so we don't get ourselves,
Absolutely.
because we have to protect ourselves as a county from legal legislation
Absolutely.
stuff, so.
If I can find a good way to
Yeah.
get that done, I want to see it done.
And like I said, my legal team knows a lot about this. I will gladly help in any way we can.
I'll look
But I
at
also
anything you
don't-
want to send me.
I also don't want it looking like the treasurer's office, auditor's office, and the commissioners did something wrong in their sale, because they didn't.
This was an oversight that something just kind of came through, which,
It was not just an oversight, it was brought many different times to even our tax sales attorney. We've discussed all of this, and it is legally able to be offered at the sale, just like Wilmington's was. So I don't want it out there that the treasurer and auditor did not do their due diligence of what they needed to do, because we did.
Given that statement, how do we legally nullify that sale then?
You can't nullify it because
they
it
can
wasn't,
redeem
but
it.
they can redeem it.
Which in essence nullifies the potential transfer after the year period.
So when they redeem it, then it just means then that it stays in an unknown owner of record for the time being. We reimburse the buyer his bid and any interest that he's earned on it, if he has any. And then the buyer's out of the mix, and it's paid in full and sits there until we figure out how we get it to the township.
Smithfield Township trustee came in last week to redeem it,
Correct.
but nobody was in the office because they were on vacation. I think that's still the intent. The Smithfield Township trustee will be back to redeem that property and at least take the new buyer out of record.
Okay.
Which should simplify things back to the status quo ex ante. Is that what they say?
Okay.
And then if, Tom, if you want to have, your team shoot me an email with whatever steps they've found, I'm happy to work on that and get that out, so. Yeah. Yeah, whatever you want on that, I'd be happy to look at it.
Okay. Well, I think we're on the right track. We'll get this done and get it straightened out and get it back to the
We have a
township.
list of all the abandoned cemeteries in the county, so this doesn't happen again going forward, make sure we can kind of clean all that up while we're
I'd
in
have
the middle
to,
of
I'd
the
have to
process.
check. I can tell you Wilmington Township, their cemetery was on tax sale for multiple years, advertised in multiple years, because nobody wanted it.
I
It's
understand, I
not
just would,
it's not, I mean,
Big issue going
these are the only two that have come to this point in the 13 years that I've been here. So I would have to look.
okay, appreciate that.
But this is a public, all of the sales are public sales. They are advertised, they are posted, they are listed. Anybody can look at them.
Okay. Anything else on that subject? Okay, moving forward. What else? What you got?
Anybody else in the public?
Anyone from the public have an issue or a comment or question? Sure, come on up, state your name.
I didn't sign in. I'm Donald Martin. I live in Spencerville, Indiana. I can sign in real fast.
Would you repeat?
What was your name?
Donald Martin.
Donald Martin.
I'm here about the St. Joe Spencerville Sewer District issues going on. Rate ordinance was approved on March 20th. There's strong indications that that's going to be protested. It's not going to be that difficult to get 30 signatures. I guess the question I have more than anything else is, what is the process for initiating a Plan B, so to speak, to get the an alternate plan for upgrading the sewer system in St. Joe Spencerville?
Okay, so you said the rate increases went into effect and you're wanting to know what the next step is
It's not
for?
protested yet. We got till April 19th.
Okay.
It got mailed, and we received it in the mail Monday or Tuesday of last week, and it said they have 30 days to protest it, and indications from the community is it's going to be protested.
Okay.
My biggest concern is it seems like the original estimate for the sewer district was about $2 to $3 million to upgrade the sewer system, and it came in around $6.5, $7 million after all the rate increases, price increases. There was no alternative plan, even investigated. Discussion was with Butler possibly tying into their sewer system, but the district board decided not to even pursue any alternatives. I didn't know if there's any way we can. I've talked to Mike Hartman, the mayor of Butler, and he says that nobody's approached him about possibly tying in out by SDI. He said it would require an engineering study, which I agree. Was that something the sewer district would have to initiate? Is that something you guys initiate? was the
So
process.
have you talked to the sewer district board?
Several times. They refused to try and go an alternative path.
Andrew, you want to explain our role as the commissioners?
Well, yeah,
For
as the
this?
commissioners are not able to make any decisions about the local sewer district. The board makes the decisions, and then if it's appealed, that's when the commissioners come in as the district authority for the regional sewer board. But they don't have any power to really make decisions up front. It's the board that has to make the decisions, because that's the way the law is set up, that there's this regional sewer district board that makes the decisions. Now, if the community objects, they can appeal, and then they sit as basically the judges on it, district authority.
We only answered 2 questions, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't get to decide what the path they go for. We make the decision on if the rate's fair and equitable compared to the
Right.
ordinance, and if they follow the procedures of doing the rate increase, which is what happened last time. They did not follow the procedures. We don't
There were
get
people
to
that
make the
appealed the last
decisions.
time. Yeah.
We don't get to make the decisions of how they're going about doing this, what they're going to do with it. We just make those 2 decisions as the only things we get
That's
to
why I
do.
wondered what the process
That's-
was, because the letter we received, it says that their authority is from the commissioners.
Over to look at the rate increase to see if it's fair and equitable compared to the ordinance, that's the state statute.
They're called the district authority,
Yes, but we
but
don't
it doesn't mean they
decide.
have authority to control everything the board does. Yeah.
So, I guess to simplify it, if I can, and correct me, gentlemen, if I'm wrong, the St. Joe Sewer District has the authority to do what they're doing. If they, whatever their decisions, that's the authority at this time, and whatever their decisions are is what that board decides. Then, if you don't, and the citizens don't agree, then you will do your due diligence and say, we object to this, and then that objection would come to us. But until that time, the commissioners really don't have a role in this. Am I correct?
And the only
That's
thing
my understanding.
The only thing you can object to is the rate increase. We don't get to decide the plan of how they go about doing anything.
That's what I'm trying to decide, how to bring this to the district, because it seems like whenever we bring it up, they say, this is what we need to do. They come back with threats saying that, well, if we don't get it done shortly, the sewer system's going to shut down, we'll have to abandon all the houses. They've done that for years now, trying to say the system's going to fall apart. You think the due diligence would be to try and do something that's more equitable price for the consumers? Because as it is right now, we're going to be tasked with a $6+ million bill that is only going to get worse as time goes on, because over 30 years of being in existence, there hasn't been new customers put in place. Actually, we've lost customers. So it's not a growing community. And there's several people who already complained that some of the small businesses might have to go out of business because they can't afford the new rates.
But the rates are set by the board, which is elected or appointed by the people down there to represent them, so.
Okay, that's all I want to know what the process was. So you guys only get involved if the protest does actually materialize, and then only to make sure, I guess I'm kind of confused. If it does get protested, what's the next step?
He comes in front of us and we make the decision on those 2 questions. Is the rate fair and equitable? And did they follow the procedures that's possible? That's the only 2 questions that we get to answer, correct, Andrew?
Yes, I think if you guys vote, I don't think you have a right to come in and say, hey, as commissioners, we absolutely require you to investigate, Butler or something else. I don't see in the statutes that it gives you the right to do that, because the statutes give the regional board the right to do all that investigation.
So if it does get protested, and you guys just say whether it was done correctly, what happens if you guys say it was done correctly? The rates.
Or when we say done correctly, did they follow the statutes of the readings, the presenting the information, getting it to you guys, those procedures, not how they built the sewer district or how they went about that. It's, did they follow the legal law of?
Well, I assume he was there when they had rate ordinance, and they actually suspended the second and third reading to get it done faster.
Which is legally allowed to do on
It's a
things.
legal maneuver. I'm not questioning this, whether it's legal
And
or not.
that's what we oversee, is to make sure all those legal steps that are legally done is done correctly. We say yes or no to that. And we said no to it last time because they didn't send out
The notice didn't get
within
sent out
7
within the
days.
7 days.
And to let you guys know how to protest.
So if you say everything was done according to law, what happens to the protest?
Well, there's always a right to appeal it. If you don't like what the commissioners decide, you can choose to appeal it to the
I mean, I guess the
local
question I'm
courts.
asking is, if
But-
you guys said that things were done legally and according to Hoyle, so to speak,
Yeah,
does that mean the rates go into existence and they can continue forward?
Yes.
Correct.
yeah.
So we're
Until
kinda-
you guys appeal our decision to the next level up.
Yeah,
What's
whatever,
the-
the court system.
Yeah. And we only answer those two. There's some confusion. I've gotten a lot of calls. We can only answer those two questions as our board. We can only answer, did they follow the legal steps of doing the ordinance? And make sure you guys are notified of the ordinance and make sure that you guys know of the appeal process, which they did not do the appeal process, is why I got denied the first time. And is the rate fair and equitable? And in that ordinance, it states that it's fair and equitable if it's required to maintain, I can't remember all the wording, but to basically maintain, which I said in the previous appointment, I read that ordinance out very clearly on it, so on that. Those are the only two questions that we get to make decisions on. We can't say, no, we're going to deny, you need to go talk to Butler. That's not our authority. That is the authority of the district board down there, that they make those decisions. That's why they're elected, and you guys put those as your representative.
They're not really elected, they're appointed.
Appointed, but not by us.
But they have to be people that live in the district,
Yeah,
I
so-
believe.
Those are the only
think
two
they all
questions
live in
that
there.
we get to answer. We don't get to tell them what to do down there. We
Okay.
can only answer those two questions.
So I guess that gives me a little bit more information I can use at the next district meeting to try and get them to see an alternative. But it's really up to the people of the community to decide what they want to do then.
Yep.
If they can convince the district to go for an alternate path, and that's really, you guys are out of that.
Yeah,
The different
there's
path
not
will be
much
up to
the
you guys,
commissioners-
yeah. We can't tell them to go a different path.
Okay, that's why I was wondering what the process was to try and fight this, because a lot of people are not happy. You said you've received calls about what's going on. There's a lot of people that are talking about going out of business and possibly even leaving the community because they're not happy with the rates. So, okay, that's all I have then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else real quick? We got about 6 minutes. Anyone?
So there's I talked to, well, I'll wait till Ben gets here, because there's some ordinances on some road stuff I want to talk to him about. We'll wait for that. We can talk about the Baymont update if you want, Andrew.
Okay. So it looks like another payment of over $2,000 came through. I saw that last week, I believe, which is good. So they're getting more and more of the payments done, but I still don't think they have done any of the fines and costs and so forth. There was a request filed by Baymont themselves without hiring an attorney. And in court cases, companies are supposed to be, corporations, LLCs are supposed to be represented by attorneys. And Baymont did not do that. So I filed an objection to their request for extension of time because, in my opinion, they had plenty of time to get a lawyer for when they were first sued and hadn't done that. The judge denied their motion for an extension of time. They also claimed they had made payments, and we had told them, we will credit you with all the payments that you've made. We're not going to try to cheat you out of payments and credit for that. And the judge said, hey, we've got a hearing coming up on our motion for default against them to get an actual judgment from the judge saying how much they owe. And we've got a hearing coming up on that, and I think Bill Hartman is planning to show up for that, and someone from the treasurer's office as well. So, yeah, Joni herself, Joni Humberger. So, we've got that process in place. The hearing will come up. I'll have to open the file here to find out what the date is for that.
19th.
What, 19th of April?
June.
June, okay. So in June, we'll have that hearing. Hopefully at that time, then the judge will issue a judgment giving the county the right to collect whatever amount of money for fines, cost, and attorney fees at that point?
I'm sorry, Andrew, that's the meeting between you and I is June 19th.
Okay, all right,
If the hearing is after that, it's a week or two after.
okay. So, and then the judge has to make a decision on fines and costs and attorney fees, and then basically the plan would be to hopefully get a judgment there, and then if they pay it off, great, it's all done. But if not, then that judgment is automatically a lien on that real estate. So that's the good news on that one. It's also somewhat good news that finally now payments are coming in on it. But it's sad, in my opinion, it's sad that the county had to actually file a lawsuit to get these payments to start rolling in consistently here, or more consistently.
Thank you for your update, Andrew.
Okay. We're up against the 10 o'clock break. Let's take a break and do the pledge, and we'll come back and finish up.
Okay. I have us back on and ready when you guys are rolling. I don't know that I was involved in it because I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't, no.
That's the
We
problem.
keep secrets.
Because I said.
That's the problem.
No, it's just to clean up something, that's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I said to you. I said to you and you said you needed review.
Good deal.
Then I won't bring it up until you have a chance to look at it.
Okay, everyone, we're back in business. What you got, Ben?
Morning, guys. Well, first off, I got some truck quotes I just handed out to you guys for replacing my assistant Mark Goodrich's pickup truck. I was looking online, I looked for used, didn't have any success with the style truck we needed. Reached out to Max Platt, got a quote on a new one. And while I was looking for a used one, I come across the 2024 truck at Kelly Chevrolet. Called down to there and received a price from them. And actually went down and looked at it Thursday with Bill. And I think it would make us a good truck and replace Mark's now instead of having to order one and costing us more. The one down at Kelly, as it sets, we can get for $47,795. We order a Ford, the price would be $54,065.25, and at least 8 weeks out. I did stop at Ben Davis as well on Saturday and talked to John Moore for the 2024 Chevy that I quoted from Kelly. For them to order that today as a 25 would be $50,300. Be at least 8 weeks out. So I did budget $60,000 for a truck for Mark for 2025. I've talked to a few of you about it. His truck's got a terrible engine noise in it. I'm concerned that how long it's even going to run, especially construction season coming. We're going to put a lot of money in it. So I'd like to go ahead and move forward on this 2024 Chevy from Kelly. And then when I get that here, I'd like to empty his and put it on Gov Deals and get rid of it before it's done.
So,
I did, but it's under 50,000 because I went to,
I thought you said 50, one of them was 50,000.
they are, but the one we want to buy is 47,795.
So is that under the 50? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I just got the other ones just to see comparison where we would be if I went new.
Well, I heard the word 50,000. I want to check that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So if you guys are okay with that, I would like to move forward with that Chevy from Kelly.
You said that one's ready to pick up now?
Yeah, it's sitting on lot. Yep, it's a 2024. So that's at the state bid price. And actually, we could just bought it off of that as well. Yep, yeah, that one's at the state bid price. Yep.
The truck that Mark is driving is literally on its last leg. It's transmission, engine. I mean, it's a beater. It's a wood truck at this point,
Yeah, it's,
at best.
Mark was off some last week. One of my other employees drove it, and he come in and got me. He said, "You listen to Mark's truck?" No, he said it was making a noise. He says, "I'm going to park it and take another one." So, yeah,
It's rough.
it's got some issues. We've gotten our money's worth out of it. But if you guys approve this, I'd also like approval to go ahead and sell that one on Gov Deals if you're okay with it. And just get what we can get out of it.
I would so move we accept the offer from Kelly Chevrolet for the pickup truck at, what was it,
47,795.
47,795, and so the replacement, the vehicle to be replaced,
On Gov Deals.
and where?
Sell it on Gov Deals.
Dovetails.
I'll second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Perfect, thank you.
Get her coming.
If you remember, I tried to delay on this, I tried to buy the surveyor's truck the first year. And waited and waited and waited, and well, then they find it and want to sell it, so it kind of got put on the back burner until recently here when I discovered the issue with it, so. The other thing I got, just FYI, from the emails that was sent, the DNR approved the fascia boards to be installed on the covered bridge. So that was good news. You guys, I believe, all sent the email from them. That is out for bid, the covered bridge roof, and as long with that, as an alternate, because I did not know at that point, the fascia is also on that bid. So when them bids come in, they are due the next meeting, April 14th. So we'll see what we get. So if you remember that, Susan, their next meeting, the covered bridge bids are due April 14th. So just want to make that aware in the meeting that, or those that didn't know about it, that DNR did approve the fascia. The other thing I got, just an FYI for you guys, I've been talking with NDOT this last couple of weeks due to the unofficial detour that we accepted for the Route 6 in Waterloo being closed. We've got a lot of road damage north and south of 6. And our unofficial detour is a north route. But we've lost a lot of the roads south, including some of the town of Waterloo roads has gotten tore up. So I've sent an email to NDOT. They had the project manager out last week looking at the roads. So I'm working with them on what we can do as far as reimbursement, working together to get the roads repaired when it's done. So I don't really have any update on where that's going to go, but I want to let you guys know I am aware of it. I am working on it. The comment was made that by law, they're only to do one route, and I said, well, we need to discuss this because I don't know what else we can do. The traffic's kind of splitting. I think the majority of it's going south. There's a lot going north. They closed the road at probably one of the worst times that you could close it, 1st of March when the frost was coming out.
Yeah.
When your roads are very vulnerable anyway, which I know they got to move with their projects. I understand that. And nobody can control traffic, where they're going to go and how they're going to run it. Once they find a route, they do. We did close County Road 26 beginning of last week. And I might as well not even put my signs out. They're driving right around it. There's lines of cars up and down the roads. But if there's any damages or accidents on that road, it's closed.
Yeah.
But it's not helping with the condition of it.
Yeah.
And the other reason we did close it is not only just because of traffic, because we can't hardly keep on top of it with when the semis are running it, with the amount of damage that they're doing it to keep it as safe as it should be. So just to make you aware, we'll see what happens, see what NDOT wants to do. Hopefully they'll do some cost sharing on it instead of, if not all of it. But I will keep you updated and we'll see what happens. But we're going to be doing repairs on them both. So.
Yeah. Well, I think they need to reimburse us substantially, really. And you got a 45-day on that cross pipe, which is, to me, I just
I
can't.
asked about that, and he said, well, we want to give them some grace period. I said, well, I understand that. I can understand a grace period according to weather,
Right.
but I said, when you guys close a US highway like that, so you cause the locals a lot of havoc.
Yeah.
A lot of damage, and
Is
we
there
need to be
Anything the
diligent on their time.
commissioners can do in addition to, with NDOT? We need a letter to NDOT or signed by commissioners?
We'll see what they come back with. I will let you know. Let's give them benefit of the doubt, see what they come back with.
See what they come in there and go from there.
Yep,
Okay.
and then,
Yes, it's my neck of the woods there, especially County Road 31, and I went up with with my pickup truck, I went up 31, past 13 semis coming down County Road 31, 13. Most of them steel haulers coming down, before I got to County Road 14 to come over. And it's like, good Lord, this is, and I mean, the road is just being absolutely tore up to pieces.
And they're going through Waterloo and then turn that.
Well, and I'm sorry, but the road closed sign at 69 going east is kind of a farce. It's really, because, and again, I didn't realize the first time that, I thought maybe I could use County Road 22 to go on the bypass, and you can't get to it. But semis had gone all the way up there and were backing up to go up 31.
Yeah.
And it's total chaos.
They put the barricades down by the work sites there at the intersection.
Yeah.
I followed a semi come by the other day when I left you. Big old semi goes by and he goes down there, and of course he can't get through.
Yeah.
He's turning around. He turned around the road. The back wheels was the back tandem was in the ditch in the water. The front steering wheels are on the other side, right on the edge of the asphalt. And he had about 5 foot at a time trying to get that thing turned around, jock it around.
I know I've got pictures of semi and a house trailer in the ditch on County Road 22. And I've got pictures of semi on US 6 turning around there to closure down in the ditch, stuck. And it's just, it's not just this area. It happens every time they close a state road. People don't follow the signs. I call them non-believers. But it's happening there on 26. The road's closed and they're getting around it just fine going through it. And that is the mindset I think they make. And they do it. They do it when we've got a road closed. You'd be amazed, when we close the road, we got the road cut, putting a pipe in, how many cars drive up and turn around at our dirt pile.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
It is. Other than that, I've got a lot of projects I'm working on. Some I'll bring to you when I got more ready. Some long-term projects I'm working on. I got to have some funding blessings on. A lot of my projects this summer's changed a lot due to a deep frost, and a lot of roads went bad. So we're shuffling projects to try to get everything covered with the funds I have. So we're not alone.
No.
I talked to a lot of guys at road school, and it's frost went deep this year. I know we cut a road in February, we had 2.5 feet of frost. So I see there's a lot of spots on State Road 8 out here, it just was resurfaced, it went bad already, and Indiana, unfortunately, but do what we can do with the funds we have.
Yeah.
It's all we can do.
Always a challenge.
It is. I've got, like I said, I've got some that was fine and wasn't even scheduled for anything, and now we're gonna have to do some stuff with it. So, that's unfortunate. That's all I have, unless you guys got anything else for me.
Anything for Ben? Anyone?
Did you get a chance to go look at State Road 1 and County Road 40 yet? I know that
I was out there when they was putting the signs up.
it's all done out there now.
It's done. Yep. It's done. They have big electronic signs on State Road 1 north and south of 40 that says intersection change, stop head, said something along that line. Both ends, very well signed. And then 40 stayed about the same. People seemed to be operating fine when I was out there.
Yeah, I got a lot of calls. People were pretty happy about it. A couple of the calls were about increase of semi-traffic on County Road 40. Do we have an ordinance that we're not allowed to go on that?
It is signed, no trucks, from State Road 1 to 50, no, it goes to 55, I believe. It's posted, no trucks, has been for years, and they run it. And I get a lot of calls on it too, but I'm not an enforcement agency.
Who would be in the enforcement agent? Would That be
law enforcement.
the sheriff's, or
But-
since it's a county road,
But local sheriffs can't enforce DOT,
then
and DOT's not gonna come out there and sit on the county road.
Yeah.
But it's our ordinance, isn't it, from the county, with probably a traffic ticket for violating it or something? I mean,
That's
which
a
our
fine
local
line
sheriff should be
because
able to do. I would
That's why I don't like them signs, because the signs say no trucks.
Right.
Will specify truck. I'd have to look at the ordinance again. So theoretically, it probably ought to be a weight limit,
Yeah, like over
then when it-
15,000 pounds
but
or
then when it
whatever.
becomes on weight limits, your locals don't enforce weight limits.
But what if you put it axles? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen signs say something like, multiple axles before, I think. And locals could maybe enforce axles.
Well, yeah, the first thing, in order to be enforceable, you're going to have to buy scales, portable scales for our sheriff's
For
department.
weight limits, yeah, that's a good point.
If you're going to do weight limits, you've got to have portable scales.
Yeah.
So
And that's
does the county
expensive
want to
and-
get into the
It is
buying portable scales to enforce weight limits?
It's a joke. That's why it's so hard to enforce that.
That's why it's hard to enforce it, okay.
And the other one is, and as a farmer, I have to travel
Grain hauler.
with my grain trucks to get from one field to another, or from the farm to a state route.
Yeah?
From a person that travels that road a lot, I think that the residents respect that. They understand, I mean, the farmers, it is what it is. You have to go into those fields. I think the bigger thing is those SDI trucks,
Yep.
what they're hauling, the rolls on the back, air products.
it's just a short section, right?
Yep.
A lot of the,
Easy to
Would we
travel.
be able to enforce it if it was an axle? I mean, then what's the point of having the ordinance if we
you'd
aren't
have
going
to
to be able to
talk,
enforce it?
you'd have to talk to Brady about it and see what he could enforce.
I mean, I can just shoot an email out to Brady while we speak here and just ask him about that. So what, it's the County Road 40?
40, it's between 55 to State Road 1.
Okay, I'll just ask him and see
Because it's
about that.
posted no trucks.
Have you ever reached out to Google or anything to let them know that? I feel like sometimes they just type in the Google and they just follow whatever that's telling them what to do, and that's why they're going down County Road 40.
It's not so much Google, it also is all the softwares for all those
Companies.
Garmin's and all that stuff. Getting that updated is very hard, because that's why I got semis going down 44 and 42 and 60A instead of going to Nucor, and, because it shows different things than what's accurate. I don't know what the solution is to ever have that totally updated. That's been an ongoing issue.
I remember coming to the meetings for a couple of years and you guys talking about it. So it was just, people were calling and thanking us for taking care of the County Road 40 and State Road 1, then they would just happen to say that they seemed to see an increase in truck traffic lately. So they just wanted to know with the ordinance, if we're enforcing it, who enforces it, and all that stuff, so.
I'm not sure, like I said, that's going to be a question for Brady, what all he can enforce and willing to enforce.
And like Jim said, able to enforce with scale or not.
What I've been told is that any local sheriff, he can pull you over,
I probably do back.
but then he's got to sit and wait with you while
I can have
DOT
Rachel
comes
search it.
to be enforced by however far away he is. And there's so many assigned to a district or an area. I don't know how many's in this quadrant, this corner, I don't know that, but. So,
Okay.
because I get a lot of complaints about steel haulers running this road or that road, and
Yeah, we've went through this before with the previous sheriff, and it's every 4 years it comes back up. And
it does, and I don't know the answer to it, honestly, guys. I mean, if sheriff can work with us on something, if it's a matter of changing the signs or amending an ordinance, I'm okay with that. You know, the thing too, we got 40 from 1 to Ohio. We can't hardly change because State Road 249 stops at our County Road 40. You know, but we should be able to amend it from 1 like it is.
Because it's damaging our road, it's going to put more wear and tear on County Road 40 for us.
Well, anytime you run semis, it's,
Yeah, so I'm saying it's not just a traffic issue, it's going to financially cost the county too, that they need to be going.
but 40 is a nice built road through there.
Yeah, but if we keep the steel haulers off of it, we'll keep it longer.
And a lot of them steel haulers, depending on what they are over 80,000 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And we have no way of recouping the damage that they do
Shoot you an email.
through licensing or anything. Otherwise, if there's an avenue there to recoup some of those, garnish some of those monies off the license, that would help, but
We need to, I've started it, and you guys asked me to hold it until, I'm gonna have to go back and look at my notes. For the permits, because I wanted to redo all of our permits and start charging for them. The overweight permit that I issue for SDI road is free. I've changed it to be annual, because the ones that used to be, once you got it, they got it. I made it annual. We ought to be charging for that permit for a year. We need to set a rate on it, charge it, whether it's $300 a year, $500 a year, whatever we want to set it at. And that is from US 6 to Steel Dynamics or Heitman or any of them. And it's for a year. That would be a way to help recover some funds. Same way with all of our other permits, our right-of-way permits, our utility permits. We don't charge for any of that. And we're missing out on some revenue that we'll have to do an ordinance to establish them. I've worked on updating some of our permits. I sent them to you guys before you two, back, you remember, it's been a while ago, I sent those to you. I still got all that. Maybe I just need to, we need to revisit that and get moving
let's
on
do
that.
that. Let's do that. And get with you, Andrew, and get the ordinance rolled up. And move on, move
Because
forward with
we
it.
should also increase the cost of our driveway permits. You know, we only charge $25. I mean, we're non-for-profit, but if you take our time going out, we're losing money, which, I mean, I'm okay with that, but I'm just saying it ought to be, residential's ought to be at least $50 for a driveway permit, and then on up if it's for a commercial or, you know, set the price. We had that all set out. My secretary worked pretty hard on that, going to the other counties and getting their permits. We revamped a lot of ours to put some more stigma in it for someone that's not following the permit that we can fine, and also including the costs. I know when I got from Allen County, of course, Allen County is a bigger county and they permit for everything, but they've said their average revenue is around $300,000 a year for permits.
Wow.
No, I don't think ours would be anywhere near that, but.
Right, but still. Yes, sir.
My name is Wayne Sponhauer. I've listened intently to the discussion on this weight road damage, you know, apparently a lax attitude from the drivers about, you know, they're taking, I think everybody in the county sees this shortcuts and stuff, and it's damaging our roads, and there's sort of reckless, abandoned attitude. I think there are some solutions that are possible here, and it just probably have to pester them enough with enough tickets or fines or something to change their behavior. And I think you've got a good start. The discussion I've heard, and you must have a file full of all kinds of discussion, and I see you've checked with other counties, and maybe we won't get 300,000, but we might get their behavior changed so they're not damaging our roads, and there's only short strips. I mean, it's not like they're fudging and saving 10 or 20 miles. This is just a matter of, you know, as I understand it, a few sections here and there around the county that they're taking the shortcuts. Look what happened to the Spencerville Bridge, because somebody looked at GPS and boom, $173,000. I think the county was darn lucky that the trucking company's insurance paid that. And the guy wasn't even licensed properly, but they were really cooperative for that bridge project. But I think you're headed in the right direction. It's just
Okay, Appreciate that, thank you.
changing everybody's behavior. You know, those guys that are here today and calling tomorrow, and they're halfway across the country.
Thank you, sir.
The county does have law right now for overweight. It's $1 a pound.
$1 a
Overweight.
pound.
Yeah. It can, or it can be up to $1 a pound overweight.
Overweight.
So anything over 80,000, which is the legal limit, for 5 axles, if you're over that, it could be up to $1 a pound.
Trouble is, even at the 80,000, when the conditions are like this, it's a lot of damage.
Well,
So it's
but-
kind of, yeah, I understand your point.
but we already have it, and it's, but then again, do we want our county deputies, do we as commissioners want the county council to buy scales?
I'm not sure that we don't. We may want to be honest with you. Put a good enough fine, you know.
I have no idea what the cost is.
What else you got, Ben?
That's all I have for you guys today.
All right, so let's move ahead with that.
Yeah, I made a note here. I'll try to revisit that as soon as I can. And
I know you got a lot coming up with the
we're getting busy,
big
yeah.
projects and stuff, but yeah, as you
Yeah,
get
but
time, let's,
a lot of this, I think, was mostly done. I don't think all the permits was totally done, but, because I think that's what it was. You wanted me to have everything totally done, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember where I'm at with it. The move and everything, there's been a lot going on the last few years, so
yeah. I think I do recall that you had put some stuff together.
I know we do, yeah.
So is that the next step? You figure out what the fees and costs you want and then shoot it to me to create an
I
ordinance?
think I've already started that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you everything,
okay.
the permits, the verbiage.
So we should already have a current ordinance that I can locate
We've
back
got
at the
a-
office, and then we just amend that.
I'm not sure what the current ordinance is for all the permits.
No, we don't, I don't think,
You'd have to do some digging for that. I would probably just,
But I'll wait to get that from you to trigger my work on it.
yep,
then.
yep.
Okay.
I'll send you what I have with the new permits. I'll send all that in one email, then to keep it separate, I'll send our current permits.
Okay,
That way you can see the differences. And then we can go back through and edit, and then, once we think we've got it to a good legal standpoint, I'll send it to the commissioners and Susan, and they can review it, and then we can go from there.
okay. So then, after they review the potential costs, then we'd have me format it into an ordinance at that point?
Yep.
Okay,
That's what I would do.
okay, that's fine with me. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep, that way they're happy with the verbiage of the permits, the
Then we
permit
can
costs.
plug it into an ordinance format.
Yep. Then we'll move forward with it.
And I've already emailed Brady Thomas, so we'll see what he has to say about that, and I'll let you guys know.
Thank you. Then we had the discussion earlier about the road in front of Central Dispatch.
Okay?
What was Zach asking? We kind of pushed that discussion off.
The driveway.
The driveway, yeah.
Yeah, to have some sort of to have an easement agreement saying the county has a right to drive over the city driveway, which they're not objecting to us having a right, but just clarifying then, as part of that easement, who provides the snow removal is the biggest thing, I think. And maybe, and I think we should also put in who has the duty to keep the road up or something like that possibly.
Because the county paid half them funds when they paid that.
Okay. Oh, that's
'Cause
interesting to know.
Yeah, I worked on that. I probably still got a lot of that. That
was a
road was really
joint deal
bad
then.
shape. It was
Okay.
gravel. It always had holes. Auburn was going out and grading it, taking care of it. And I went through, I believe it was API that paved it, got a quote from them to pave that. And the city of Auburn and the county split that cost.
Okay.
And then the city's always kind of plowed that. We went in and sanded it a few times. To be honest with you, it's, as you drive in, they hire someone to plow. I don't know why they don't drop their blade, plow it off to one side, and they go do their lot, and then when they come out, they roll it the other way. It's done. I don't know why they just don't
Who's
do that.
paying for the lot to be plowed?
Central's paying someone to do it.
Okay, so that's not something where you guys send a county truck to go do that?
We don't do that.
You don't do it, okay, sort of like private parking lots, you guys don't do private
I
parking?
mean, if we do that, then we need to bill Central, and then Central's got to pay us, and I really don't want to be tied to an obligation on a
Right.
24-hour service and be, when I can get there and when I can't. I've got 705 miles road to take care of already. I don't
Yeah,
really looking for any more, especially when you get in the parking lot. You got more fall safety risks and.
well, and you don't want to necessarily have to take on the responsibility of, like, a 24-hour safety
Yeah.
issue like that.
Yeah, like I said, they were already paying it to me as I drive in there. I mean, to drop your blade and as you're driving back and leave it down on your way out is pretty minimal. And, you know, during an ice storm, we've salted it occasionally here or there if they call and it's really bad. I don't mind doing that. But to do it on a routinely thing, it would be a little more difficult.
So we could even get it, that makes sense, we could put into the agreement that Central Communications pays for the plowing just because they're already paying for somebody doing the parking lot. We would just put it into writing, we had the right to do that.
And as far as an easement, I don't think there's a problem with that, because I think it's Auburn's property. I think
This would just be putting it in writing that the county has the right to use it, which no one's arguing that at this point.
Right, I
We
don't
just
think
put
that's
some
a
things in.
problem at all. I wouldn't think, if you guys are okay with it, I don't. Actually, it'd probably be a good idea and just, that you have something.
We just had that conversation earlier, I just wanted to loop how it's working.
Gotcha.
I'll shoot an email out to Brian Humbarger just to see who they use and ask him about it.
Okay.
And they might charge him a little bit more. If they do, it'd be a good time to figure it out now. He could put it in his budget for moving forward. I wouldn't think it'd be much more, they're already there.
All right?
Okay. What else? That's it?
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
Well, thank you, guys. If you need something, let me know. I will revisit those permits and hopefully get something to you here soon.
You have to go down and get that truck, or they deliver it?
I don't know. I gotta find that out yet. I'm gonna call them though when I get back, 'cause he did put a hold on it for me for the weekend, because he knew I was coming here. It's kind of ironic, he had pretty much everything on it we needed.
Okay. All righty.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, what else we got? Miscellaneous.
I'm good.
Good?
Oh, wait, no, I'm not.
You're not. What you got? What you
Well,
got, Jim?
At the last Commissioner and Mayor Levin County meeting, I asked, they had safety, and so they had state and county police and city police there. There was one from, so there was 11 of them up there. And I asked them the very specific question. We had talked about charging inmates to get reimbursed, and they said emphatically, you can do it if you want to, but you're wasting your time, and it'll cost you a lot more money than it's worth trying to get them, because you're trying to get them back on their feet, and you're going to put them an extra expense. And that was their, I mean, it was unconditional. Everybody was in total agreement that was, you don't want to do it.
Don't do it.
I thought I would just pass that along.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that was my, I think, thought that I had shared, is the possibility that it would be too much if you're trying to help the people give back, or that there might be a few people that could afford it at some point, but yeah.
While we're on fees, there's been a suggestion that we charge for weights and measures to the scale owners.
There's no fees now for them to get licensed every year?
No, there's no fees for weights and measures to have your scale certified. It is, but they can charge a fee. It was suggested that we charge a fee for that service, and they're going to pay it through taxes or pass it on one way or the other. Just a thought, something to think about going on into the future. Anything else?
So I want to do an update on Sunny Meadows.
Yes.
I'll probably do an update every meeting. I met with the commission, or, commission, we'll just say that. One of the things that brought up was talking about security cameras out there. We have illegal dumping going on out there at the burn pile behind. It gets burned down, more stuff shows up. It is what it is. So there was some discussion that it would probably be wise to put cameras out there. It's wise to have a 24/7 facility to have cameras anyways. I'm not sure why there hasn't had cameras out there to begin with. Have some inside, some outside, just in case something does happen out there. I was just kind of bringing it to you guys to see if that's something that you guys would possibly approve, depending on price. I want to reach out to IT to see if we have server space. I reached out to Larry to use the same company that we use cameras already in other facilities to see if we can tie into already the existing network onto it and put some cameras out there to see what's going on out there. Why is there just stuff showing up at the burn pile randomly, and stuff like that. So I do have a few people to call. I was gone all last week on vacation, so I'm gonna call a few people to see if they want to join the board too. This week, we're gonna meet again, hopefully here, and discuss some more things out there right now. So that's kind of what we did. We had a quick meeting the week before I left, and the cameras was one of the big ones that kind of brought up that there's illegal dumping going on there, that just people keep dumping stuff on our property, which should not be happening. So I will go talk to Larry, talk to the camera guy, security system companies, see what they could do for us, what they're thinking, stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know, see what you guys' kind of will was on that, if you guys are in agreement with that, if I should take my time to do that, or if not, so.
I'm in total agreement with that. It just makes sense.
Yeah, get some prices.
Yeah.
And then we can approve it officially if we're
Okay.
going to move
So
forward with it.
I'll do some homework on that, get something for hopefully next meeting on the camera stuff, and that's all I got really updated on Sunny Meadows. I'm probably going to try to keep you updated every meeting on that, so just going to let you know what's kind of going on out there.
Okay. Anything else? Susan?
One last thing, code enforcement, Jace, he had been on vacation and is coming back. He's gonna start getting more pictures, but the Albright property really hasn't seen much improvement. I mean, we drive by it a lot. Some things may have been moved, but he just wanted to let you know that he doesn't have the updated pictures, but he'll put a report together, but there's not been much
Going on.
improvement on.
Yeah, since that
They
first
suggested.
movement of stuff, it hasn't changed really much.
Well, coming by this morning, there's an additional crane there this morning.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it's moving all the poles.
I had a concern when I heard that when code enforcement went out there, that only an assistant was there to meet with them. I thought that sounded like a bad sign.
Yeah.
If we're trying to enforce things, set up a meeting, I think we even set it up almost while he was here.
He did.
We did, and then he doesn't show up. That's a bad sign usually.
Yeah. So, okay, so we'll get back on that one.
Yeah.
And if you
Else?
can talk to Jace about some steps that the guy can follow, so we can have steps to go, like, hey, by this month, we need to see this moved or gone. It gives some directions that way. If they don't move anything, then we can move forward with whatever we need to do on our end. Because if just saying, hey, we need things moved, that's too broad of a statement, in my opinion. So having particular steps like, hey, by end of April, you have to have at least these things moved, or something like that, gives them a plan. If you don't give them a plan, then it's just going to keep doing what it's doing right now.
Yep.
Okay.
That's okay with you guys?
Andrew, anything?
No.
Anyone else? Last chance. Going, gone. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.